Alright, welcome to Unit 1.8. We're looking at translating expressions. We're going to look at how to turn words into numbers and numbers into words, because sometimes in a word problem they give you the words. That's why it's called a word problem. And you have to be able to translate it from the word problem into an expression or an equation. You need to be able to do that. Alright, so a few things that might help you are the keywords and phrases that go with each of them four operations. All right, with addition, you might see words like sum, total, plus, increased by, and more than. If you see any of these keywords or phrases, they're probably asking you to combine or add stuff together. They're probably asking you to add stuff together. Sorry. Alright, now for subtraction, you might see difference, like the difference between 7 and 3. They're asking you to subtract. They're asking you to find the difference between the two. You might see minus, decreased by, less than. We'll put a star next to that one for now, and I'll tell you why it has a star in a second. Or subtracted from. Also gets a star. Alright, the reason these two get a star is because they change the shape of the equation. And I'll explain that in just a minute. Alright, so if you see difference, minus, decreased by, less than, or subtracted from, you're going to be subtracting something from something. Alright, multiplication times product. Product always implies multiplication. What is the product of? What is 15% of 60? That implies multiplication. Twice. What is twice the value of x? Or double. What is double the value of x? Or triple. What is triple? Right? So things like this imply multiplication. Times product of, twice, double, triple. Those imply multiplication. Alright, and for division, we have quotient. We have separate, or separates. We have divided by. And we have half, like what's half of 12, or third, like what's a third of 12, right? So far so good. Times product of, twice, double, or triple, or multiplication. Quotient, separate, divided by, half, or third. A third of 12 is 4, because 12 divided by 3 is 4. Half of 12 is 6, because 12 divided by 2 is 6. Alright, parentheses phrases. If you see something like times the sum of, times the sum of, they want you to put the addition in parentheses so that you'll do that first and then multiply. So if it says something like times the sum of, they want you to put the addition in parentheses. And if you see times the difference of, or the difference between, then they want you to put the subtraction part in parentheses so that you will do that before the multiplication. These are phrases that tell you there needs to be parentheses. This one, it's around the addition. This one, it's around the subtraction. All right? And then the 2 stars we put up there are our turnaround phrases. Less than and subtracted from. Those are our turnaround phrases. And I'll explain what that means. If you see less than or subtracted from, you're actually going to change the order of the expression. All right, so let's look at number 4 right here as an example. All right. If you were to write it exactly as it says, 4 subtracted from a number, that's how it reads, but it's not right. Because we have the turnaround phrase, subtracted from, right? That's your turnaround phrase, subtracted from. So that means you need to do 4 subtracted from a number. You need to do a -4 from a number. 4 subtracted from a number. You actually have to flip it around. And it's a big deal because in this one, the x is negative. That doesn't make sense. In this one, the 4 is negative because you're subtracting 4 from a number. That one actually makes sense. Sometimes you just have to stop and ask, does it even make sense? If your answer doesn't make sense, it's probably wrong. All right, let's look at some of the odd ones. The product of a number, you can use any variable. In this case, I would like you to either use n for number, or x, just because it's the most common variable. Use x or n, most common variable. But technically, you could use any. But for the purposes of this, because it's asking for a number, either n for number or x, just because it's the most common. The product, so we know it's going to be multiplication, of a number and 3. 3 times n. Remember, if a number and a variable are together, there's multiplication there. This is actually equal to 3 times n. Right? It's an invisible multiplication sign. It's there, it's just invisible. The quotient of a number and -5. So we're looking for the division of a number and -5. You could write it like this, or you could write n divided by -5. I will accept either answer. This is more algebra. This is more elementary, but I will accept either answer. All right, the sum of twice a number and 7. All right, so we know addition is going to be there. We're going to be adding 7 to something. We're going to add 7 to twice a number. 2 times a number. 2 times a number plus 7. The sum of twice a number and 7. All right, 4 less than a number squared. That's one of our turnaround phrases. So 4 less, that means -4, and it's going to go at the end, right? Because you want it to be -4. 4 less, -4. A number squared. A number squared. 4 less than a number squared. The sum of twice a number and 10 is 36. This is when we change from expressions to equations. This word is your equal sign. Is equal sign. It's the word for your equal sign. It's the key word for your equal sign. Is. All right, so let's write it slowly and carefully. the sum, so we know there's going to be a plus, and you're going to add 10, of twice a number, so 2n twice a number, is 36. And look, we're just translating. You don't even have to solve it yet. I mean, you're welcome to. But at the end of the day, this is your answer, because we're just translating. We're translating from words to math. 4 times a number divided by 8 is 3. 4 times a number divided by 8 is 3. Sometimes it's literally as simple as writing what it says. 4 times a number divided by 8 is 3. I need to stop touching the screen. I keep forgetting it's touch screen, but I'm actually using the touch screen, which is ridiculous. Go ahead and laugh. It's all right. 1/2 of a number is 8 less than the number itself. Ooh, interesting. Let's work it out. 1/2 of a number is 8 less than, that's our turnaround phrase, the number itself. 1/2 of a number is 8 less than the number itself. Wild. 15 decreased by the quotient of a number and 3 is 20. Alright, so 15 decreased by, so it's going to go down, subtraction, the quotient, division, of a number and 3, so 15 decreased by, subtraction, the quotient, it's going to be division, of a number and 3 is 20. You're literally translating from words to equations at this point. And if you have even the basic understanding of this by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to do word problems so much faster. Because all the key words are there, you just need to know what they are. You just need to know what they are. Let's see what time we're at for this one. It doesn't tell me. That's right, I'm going to pause it here. And we'll continue with inequalities on the next video.